Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Sketching Past Midnight Live. I am your host, CB Smallwood, the greatest of all time, the somewhat disputed, but we all know it's true. and okay, what are we doing tonight? What is on the agenda for tonight, or today, or this evening, for wherever you happen to be watching this part of the world from? Well, first of all, before I get started, I've been working on my John Buscema. Been working on John Buscema, studying it and everything, and doing a little bit of my own thing. But basically, yeah, it's John Buscema. you know, so I've been doing some studies there. These are new. These are all old, and um, just trying to work on my art, get better. Get things down. Um, let's see, what else? Any other things I want to cover before I get started? Let's see. I think I've done some sketches. I don't want to bore you with all the different sketches I've done. No, I don't think there's anything new. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this. Polka dots. Yes, that's where it's at. Polka dots. All right. Let me start moving crap out of the way so I can get this big rig of a show underway. And I'm going to put this over here. Get me a big, nice 11 by 17 comfy, highly enjoyable blank page of paper that could literally be anything. But I've decided that it's going to be this. Yeah, I was contemplating, what I was going to draw next and everything. Many of you will be saying, first of all, you should be drawing Wildcat, because you got to get your Wildcat stuff done. And you're right. Absolutely correctamundo on that. But I am having a few issues with the story. I want to make sure that I don't cram in too much, but I don't want to have too little in it either. I want you to remain interested in the Wildcat comic as you're reading it, page by page by page, and your investment in that book, continues to grow and that sort of thing. So anyway, one of the hangups I'm having is, other than having too little in it or having too much interesting things in it, I'm trying to figure out the particulars of how the comic starts off, and that's my big hold up right now. Once I get those little particulars figured out, I'll be flying. I'll be churning out pages like no other. If I take too long of thinking about this stuff, I think what I'll end up doing is I'll start drawing pages that I am certain on, just so that I can make progress. But it's just a weird little mental hang up. And really, I'm not too stressed about it because I've really just been taking my time and really letting the universe come to me with great ideas. And as time moves along, more and more interesting and more great ideas, I feel like they're great anyway, are coming to me as it concerns Wildcat. So anyway, I find that just having a little bit of patience is really rewarding in terms of creativity. So it's making the Wildcat comic bigger and badder than ever. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm really trying to work on my artwork. That's one of the reasons that I'm trying to sketch a lot in my little girly polka dotted book. And other sketchbooks. I've been filling up a lot of sketchbooks. Now, these sketchbooks are not like, what you see on YouTube, which are just beautiful, phenomenal works of art, page by page by page. Very envious of these YouTube personalities that are able to I don't know, just, do that on each page and it looks wonderful. They could literally, just put their cheeks right against the page, let one out, and it would look awesome. But I could see it all day long and try really, really, really hard, and then 9 times out of 10 it's a miss rather than a hit. So anyway, let's talk about the agenda tonight. So for anyone just now tuning in, I was recapping my whole Wildcat debacle, where I'm trying to take my time and really think about the story that I want to tell Wildcat, and I'm trying to figure out a few particulars at the beginning of the story, and once I get that kind of weeded out, I'm gonna start knocking out pages like no other. Okay, so that's my big hang up right now with the first issue, first trade, whatever it is, whatever the hell that is, of Wildcat, Dead Man Walking. And what you're looking at right now is a sketch that I did at work. And, I've been really inspired by a lot of Star Wars posters. Let me tell you something about Star Wars posters. They're extremely well laid out. They're very simple, but they look complicated when they're not. And you can get a lot of cool stuff out of that. And so I would encourage you that, if you want to draw covers and stuff like that, which I'm not a pro, I'm not an expert, just take my advice for what it's worth. Study Star Wars covers. If you notice, Rob Liefeld kind of has a little bit of that vibe when he does his covers. Nowadays, it's usually like 2 guys fighting on the page, but there's been times in the past where the layouts kind of put me in mind of it. Not always. Abe writes, "Hey CC, nice art. Thank you. I really, really, really appreciate it." But this was a doodle I did at work. I don't know if I did this entirely off the top of my head. I kind of feel like I did. But I will say it's definitely inspired by Star Wars. So that's what I'm going to be drawing, or attempting to draw. So I'll get that laid out. And I guess go ahead and let's get started. So, as I mentioned before, I was having a little bit of mental hang-ups with the Wildcat story and stuff. And it's about the beginning. I'm debating in my mind about taking some elements out, or rather I should leave some elements in and just trying to flesh them out just a little bit better than what they were. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do first, I'm going to have some kind of predefined borders. So I'm going to make some make-believe borders here to tell myself that, if I go past them, there's going to be trouble. It's going to be trouble. Now, a lot of the borders that I'm wanting to do nowadays, let me get a comic book out and I'll show you. Let's see. Let me get 2 comics out. Now, when I did the original Wildcat first issue, a lot of the borders were like this. They were spaced out and stuff like that. I used Blue Line Pro paper. So all my borders came out like that. And the thing is, in the 90s, as the 90s went along, these borders kind of went away. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I just want to give you more of an example. Why is my phone going ding ding? I got mail? Is that what it was? Oh, YouTube telling me that I'm live. Yes, YouTube, I am aware. Oh, I missed these ads. These ads were awesome. I remember, it's just so cool. You would look and you would see stuff that you'd be interested in. I remember when they would have you could get issue 500 of Batman for $5 or something like that. The whole, you could get the death of Superman for so much. You could get, I don't know, X-Men #1. You know, they had all these great books that were coming out at the time, all these image books and stuff, and different sales prices. And this was really cool. This company, American Comics and Entertainment, it blew up really big. They're not in business anymore. The guy who put this together was a true entrepreneur. I don't know what happened to him. I can't remember the story about it. But you know, I wish this guy was still doing stuff like this. You know, this was cool. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is these borders. So when I did the original Wildcat comic, I had these big white borders. So what I want to transition into is this. Look at here. There's absolutely no borders. The art just takes up the whole page. Now, why do I like this versus what I just showed you all? I like this because it allows me to suspend my disbelief or whatever. It allows me to lose myself in the comic, which, you know, great art, great story. You can still lose yourself in an old school comic with the big white borders. But I feel like this is more cinematic to me. Now you can see here there are borders here. And I've seen Jim Lee sketch live. Well, everybody has, you know, whatever. But I've seen him sketch live with borders about this same size on the big paper, on the big 11 by 17 paper. So that's about as big as he does his borders, seemingly. And if you look, I mean, look, there's no border at the top or at the bottom of this page. There's no borders whatsoever here. And it just, I don't know. That's kind of where I want to go. And the technology that we have nowadays, that printers have and stuff like that, it's really not a hassle to do that, you know. Abe writes, haha, stupid keyboard. I didn't catch that until you said it. Yeah, I do that all the time. You know, I got Android phones, and whenever they autocorrect me, it's always something redonkulous. You know, that's the reason I hate writing people back on my phones or texting and stuff. I just can't stand it. I prefer to do things on a laptop or computer when I write people back, you know. That way I have more room to flex my fingers. I can just kind of relax and really get in depth and write these big, long novels of reply. Abe writes, I'm having some art withdrawals because Jeff and Gib are taking a break. Yeah, that's sad. That sounded insincere. Yeah, you do. You kind of have to take a break sometimes. It's really, really hard to keep, chugging and whatever. Keep trucking. It's hard to keep trucking every single day because you got all these responsibilities, and as well, it depends on how old you are, but as a family man, as a working person, and all this other stuff, and the world pulls you in so many different directions, and then you have to make time to do this stuff. So it's not me opining and whining and crying, mind you. Just kind of spitballing here. So seemed like I thought I did catch a little bit of the last stream that Jeff and Gib did, and seemed like Jeff was moving. I could be wrong. He was doing some moving. That was one of the reasons they were taking a break. As far as I knew, could be wrong. I don't know about the sizing issues here. I'll have to figure that out. Now, for anyone that's going to be watching this right now or watching the replay, I apologize. A lot of what I'm doing is just kind of outline where I'm going to be putting a lot of the figures. So starting out, you're not going to be able to see a lot of what I'm doing, and I promise I'll draw faster. I'll draw faster. That way it'll come out looking pimpin', okay? I will correct my slowness by drawing faster. Okay, there's that kind of flame thing. Okay, indicate that. Okay, A writes, I always wanted to order from these comic sellers like Mile High Comics, but I was broke. Yeah, yeah. You know, my thing is I just never took a thought of it. You know, I always just went to the grocery store or Rite Aid, you know, some pharmacy, Walmart, someplace, gas station that had comics, and I would just, you know, buy them off the rack, you know, and I was able to just basically get everything that you could possibly order, you know. I was lucky that way, you know. Let's see here. Now the center, got to have a center figure here. It's the fox. I left a. I know everybody can't really see here, but I've been getting in the habit of leaving a space empty up here, about this big going across when I do these splashy like looking pages. Especially if I think they're going to be like a print or a cover. That way I can put the Wildcat logo or any other logo that I want to. So I try to be mindful to leave that big empty space up there. Might be drawing too big here. I may have to kind of, you know, shrink this stuff down just a little bit. But I'll figure it out. Let me go ahead and get my second best friend here, Mr. Eraser. Probably going to need it. Okay. Oh. All right, there's that. Here's this. I need to bump that second head up more. It's too far down. Put him a little bit more right here, make it tighter. So anyway, I was talking about earlier about Wildcat and about some of the issues I was having writing wise. And let me put the little demon ears here so that way I know what the heck I'm drawing. And so, you know, that's one of the reasons I decided to draw this, because when you have your own comic book character, and again, as always, take what I say with a grain of salt. You know, I've not made a career out of this, and I don't make any money, so I'm probably not the best guy to listen to. But anyway, you never know. But I feel like, you know, when you have your own comic book character, your own comic book characters, your own properties, IP or whatever, you need to get a lot of stuff out there for people to look at, you know, for people to, you know, realize that you got Coca-Cola. You know, you got some Coca-Cola going on, you know. All right, there's that. And I think, for whatever reason, I want to change this to the pickup truck that's actually in the story. So I'm going to need to get some Ford Explorer references. Kind of get the box frame in there anyway. All right. I know you can't really see really good right now, but I promise I'll flesh this out fairly quickly. I think the best way to go is start with Wildcat, his big old head. Okay, so we'll say this is his goofy head. So, you know, if this turns out good, which I don't know if it will or not, I'll use it as a, you know, like a promotional piece thing, you know. That way I can promote Wildcat, get people excited about, you know, whatever the crap it is that I'm doing, trying to do. That ain't got all figured out yet. Let's see. Let me zoom. Is that better? I'll answer Forians and say yes, that's better. Okay, let's see here. Hump, dive, nose. And one of those deals. Do one of these. You can tell I'm in deep thought here. I'm just dang it. I'm acting like I'm inking this. I don't need to freak out, you know. That's what a pencil's for, you know. It's okay, CB. I really like how I did his face right here. So I kind of want to stick to that formula. But then again, you know, if something cool comes out that I didn't really plan on, then I just need to roll with it, you know. Need to roll. Okay, let me move this over. Yeah, focus camera. You need a folk, as the Ultimate Warrior would say. Okay, let's see here. Trying to decide, you know, I tell you something else that's interesting. When I was drawing the first issue of Wildcat originally, a lot of his facial expressions was him being a little bit more stoic, which I felt was appropriate because he I don't know, you know, he's stronger and more powerful than these local goons he was going up against, whether he had the memory of that or not. But then, you know, I noticed that the book didn't look that dynamic. It really hurt the dynamics of the book. And so I changed it and I gave him more of a grimace and all this other stuff going on. You know, I felt that it made it look better, you know, visually. And I may end up doing the same thing here, you know. Right now I'm just kind of, you know, sort of like how a painter throws on like the base coat of paint. I'm just throwing on this base coat here. Kind of get a feel, kind of get something to work with, you know. Can't even see what I'm doing. I need to keep it in focus here. This camera's very... Where's all the light? Where's this light at? Maybe if I hit this button. Well, brightens up pretty good there. Look at that magic. Wow, wow, wow. All right, leave my hand here. Maybe hit this button again. Let's see, try that. And now do that. Okay. I don't know. Whatever. Focus camera. Whatever. Let me zoom out. Zoom in. What the crap? There we go. Perfect. If it just stays like that, crap. Whatever. I ain't got time to play with this camera. Ain't nobody gonna watch this show, me goofing off. Okay, maybe just round it off here. Boom, boom, boom. Put one of those in. Looks very, the Wildcat drawing looks a lot more elongated and very weird than how it does in person, you know, through the camera. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to that. Okay, let's see here. Maybe like one of these John Byrne things. He always does the you know, the bags under the eyes, you know. I'd like to throw one of those in. Okay, it's coming together. Let's see here. Okay, need to put the, you know, the little eyeball thingies for his robot eye. Gotta put that in. And then let's put that in. What the crud, guys? You can't even see what I'm doing. I need to pay attention what I'm doing here, you know. There we go. That's somewhat better. I think I need to make it come down just a little bit more. The eyebrow, kind of give it a little bit more, like, you know, intensity, just slightly. Bring that into the. There we go. Let's see. Abe writes, nice, thanks. This thing has a Aeon Flux aesthetic, or if you've seen the Phantom 2020 cartoon. I've not seen the Phantom 2020 cartoon. I assume that you're talking about, or referring to. Are you talking about the Phantom character, like the classic, you know, like old Phantom character? Seems like he's got like a kind of like a light purple outfit and lives in the jungle, and you know, they did a movie about him. You know, I don't know, maybe in the 90s. I don't know. Okay, that's kind of like how it's looking right there. Okay, Abe says yeah. So, let me get a spit curl in here, because he's not a superhero if he doesn't have a spit curl. So, kind of throw that in, and a few Silvestri-isms by making it a little scratchy. Let me fix that. I don't want a dent there. That's not what I'm going for. Alright, just kind of do one of these. Now, camera, you cannot be flipping out, acting crazy. That is annoying. Maybe let me just do it this way. Okay. I'll just have to roll with it. We'll just have to bear with me. Bear the brunt of this terribleness together. All right, let me zoom out just a little bit. All right. All right, so I got that fleshed out just a little bit. I think I kind of indicated that his shoulders here in the original sketch kind of want to draw his neck, but whatever. It's a strobe stream. Yeah, I'm afraid, man, that'd be terrible if like somebody who's like, what do they call it, epileptic or something, they start having a seizure because, they're watching my stream, and they're like, CB, I used to watch your streams, but I can't watch them no more. Oh, that'd be bad. Put a few stray hairs in there. And all right, let's go over here and work on Cronus. The cool concept that I had for Cronus is this. Cronus is this dude that's floating in space, and Wildcat's robotic eye basically wakes up Cronus from his sleep in space. He's like this. He's a cyborg, basically, and it's going to take him 100 days to get to Earth. And once he gets here, it's going to be like, how like Doomsday was to Superman? It's the same type of thing, same type of concept. He's going to land, when he comes to Earth, he'll probably land like Siberia or maybe like Arizona, and he has to make his way over to where across country to get to Wildcat. That's kind of like the idea that I was going with. And then once he gets here, it's going to be a big deal. But what the story that I'm writing now, it's kind of like a small town story and stuff like that. And with so many elements, crazy stuff in there, like I don't want to overwhelm people because then it'll be a lot Lost. I love Lost, so maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know if y'all have seen Lost, the TV series. I recommend you watch it. It's great. It's great sci-fi fun. Great character development and stuff like that. A lot of people who watch the Lost TV series, they were really upset with the ending. They felt like, I don't know. They felt like the show just kind of went all over the place, which it did. But the show pretty much explained everything. But everyone else that still had a gripe with it, their problem seemed to be the fact that it's like super bright now. Everyone else that had a gripe, I feel like maybe if I can put a marker under here, there. But one of the other problems that people have with the ending with Lost is like, I guess they felt cheated. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to ruin it for nobody. I'll be honest. I won't lie. I cried. Yeah, I cried like a baby. Because I got to know these characters and I went through this journey and now it was over and it might not be the ending I wanted. I'm not a guy who worries too much about happy endings or bad endings or something, just as long as it's good, But it was, the ride was over. So that's one of the reasons that, I was like, boo-hoo-hoo, tear up at that stuff, Which they talked about bringing Lost back and stuff like that, it's kind of left open where that's a possibility. But anyway, that's not the point. The point of me bringing up Lost, the television series, is that the Wildcat story I'm telling is a lot like Lost. There's a lot in there, and I have to be careful not to overwhelm the readers with just too much stuff because then it will be a distraction. But with some of the other things that I'm wanting to do, So I gotta get some stuff figured out, I got to get it figured out, or it's going to be a convoluted mess, you know. And Wildcat's important to me, you know. He's a character that I've had for a long time, you know. Zoom in. Okay, let's see. Hey, writes, the Kronos story sounds cool. I really appreciate it. Yeah. You know, the Kronos story, off the top of my head, you know, will reveal some of, you know, Wildcat's origin, you know, I think. That's not very confident sounding. But yeah, he's going to be a big baddie, and I'm actually going to have like, you know, if you have a comic book, and you open it up, like on this page, you know, I would have like, you know, Wildcat, created by, written by, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And then I'd have an hourglass logo right here, and I'd give you what day. You know, it's 100 days so Kronos gets to Earth. So I would give the readers what day is left till, you know, he gets here, is the idea. And then, like, every 7 or 8 issues, I would show his progress as he is making his way to Earth, you know. So it'll build, like, anticipation and stuff like that, you know. And there's going to be a reckoning. You know, yeah. See here. Maybe I just need to hold it up like that and draw it. Scritch, scratch, scritch, scratch. You know, I was talking about, you know, just for the sake of conversation, because I'm getting awfully quiet here, and I guess the reason is I'm putting a lot of time and effort in it. Well, not time and effort, but well, I guess I am. I'm putting some effort into this, and so it takes a little bit of brain power, you know, because I'm, you know, trying to make sure I do a good job here. But for the sake of conversation, I was talking about space. You know, I love learning about the planets and all this other stuff, and you know, I have an obsession with Mars and the Titanic, which Titanic is a ship. You know, it has nothing to do with space, but still. And you know, the interesting thing, you know Mars. Mars. What was I going to get ready to say about Mars? Well, anyway, you know, a lot of people's interested in Mars that are into science stuff, you know, because, you know, one day there might be colonists on Mars. There might be people living on that planet, which I am very, very much in favor of. See, the thing is, in order for the human race to survive, we have to become a, what do you call it, interplanetary species? Multi-planetary species. We have to live on a different planet, you know. And you know the reason is, you know, comets, asteroids. I mean, you name it. You know, there's all kinds of things that could happen to ruin our day. A lot of people, and I say this respectfully, are kind of short-sighted when it comes to investing in space travel and satellites and probes and all this other stuff in space programs, because they're like, we have all these problems on Earth. Why should we waste our money on such and such stuff? And the thing is, people have to understand that NASA doesn't even get nowhere near the money that all the other government programs get. They're very, very underfunded. And on top of that, the beautiful thing about space travel is every time that we make an endeavor to get on something like the moon or land on an asteroid, which we haven't done that yet, or there was a European Space Agency had a I don't know had some type of thing land on a land on an asteroid, but we were supposed to do that too. Mars and stuff. Every time we do things like that, we create new technology. And that technology, common people benefit from it, NASA, for the most part, isn't a secret agency, so a lot of that technology gets passed on down. That's where Tang, supposedly Tang comes from, the drink. Or so they say. But space travel is one of these things where it's just a win-win. Not only do we eventually, hopefully, become interplanetary species. I'm going to use that word even though I'm not for sure what it fully means. But we also develop new technologies which benefit us on Earth. And the thing is, if we had a colony on Mars, we would learn to terraform it. And by learning to terraform it, we would also learn how to fix problems that we have here at home, And, so I oftentimes, I'll see people's YouTube comments of how, they think this is dumb and that's dumb and all this other stuff, waste of money, doing space stuff. And I don't even know why they even bother commenting, watching the videos in the first place, but they do. But I never comment, I'm just like, well, okay. Make her mouth a little wider because she's got kind of a squirrely thing going on. Abe writes, that's a cool idea. I like how Spawn had numbers for a bit in the intro of the comic. He's talking about in reference to the Cronus idea I had about the hourglass. Spawn beat me to it, and I guess I'm really inspired by it. What they used to do in a Spawn comic is I think they had an hourglass. They did something like that. Oh no, it wasn't an hourglass. I think it was a timer. There was a timer and it was counting down, and nobody knew what it was counting down to, for the most part. There was a countdown, But what I'm wanting to do is an hourglass, and I'm wanting to go by days, So I guess it's not really an hourglass. It's a month glass, or a year glass. I don't know. Hey, Brad, so I was thinking about a timer or something like that for when my scientist character transforms into his hybrid form. That would be cool. That would definitely be cool. Maybe one thing to look at or get inspiration from is, I don't know if you read the Damage comic from DC Comics, when they did the New Age of Heroes. I've covered that, and I really liked New Age of Heroes. That had a lot of promise. But anyway, Damage was their Hulk character, and the concept with Damage was he could only be Damage for 3 or 5 minutes. I can't remember what it was. So they actually had a timer. What time he was fighting some supervillain or whatever, the timer would be counting down throughout the pages. And so you would kind of, that tell you how much time he had left to be Damage. So maybe you could look at that and see how they did that and get some inspiration as well. Jeremy Burtz writes, I believe there was a civilization. There I go again. I believe there was a civilization on Mars long ago. There's a lot of people that believe that. My mindset is I'm very, very open to that possibility. But I'll get to that in a second. Abraham said it was like a power meter or a counter for how he uses power or something like that. At least for the video game, that's how it was. Oh, Spawn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. You're right. Spawn, every time he used his power, that's what it was. It would drain him somehow. It wasn't that he was less powerful, but it would take him one step closer to going to hell. So that's what the timer was about. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Anyway, getting back to Jeremy's comment about civilization on Mars long ago. Yeah, there's a lot of people that believe that or lean toward that and stuff. Myself, I'm open-minded about it. I've actually seen a lot of people who look at pictures that come from NASA and they analyze the pictures like regular folk, and they look at kind of looks Liefeld-ish. They look at the rocks and they see animals, they see machinery and all these different things, from the photos. And, when I look at them, I just see rocks. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know this for some reason, but nature can actually create things that look very, very artificial. They can make things that look like, some intelligent life form made them, I mean, you could look at river rocks and the current of the water can actually carve out some very interesting, intricate things. And then, there's a little bit of bias too when people look at pictures and they believe that there's a civilization that was on Mars. They kind of take that bias and they look at those photos and the footage or whatever with that bias in mind, so they see the things that they want to see. But having said that, there was a scientist, there is a scientist who actually published a scientific paper that was, I think it might have been peer reviewed, if that means anything to anybody. But it was peer reviewed, and he talked about, like, for the amount of radiation and stuff that's on Mars, he came to the conclusion that it had to been a nuclear device of a global scale had to went off on Mars. Which is possible, if there was some civilization or maybe some visitors that were there once, who knows, for whatever reason. But then it's also possible that Mars, as the sun stripped away the atmosphere of Mars, and the radiation has hit it for millions of years, maybe that would create the same effect. It's always one of the interesting things about Mars is the fact that it has very little atmosphere, and that its core has cooled down. At least that's what they think. For the most part, the core of Mars is supposed to be cooled down. And why that's relevant is the core of Mars may have like iron in it, like how our planet has iron in the middle of it. And when that iron is sped up and heated up and stuff like that, it creates a dynamo effect where it gives off a magnetic field. Now, the magnetic field is very important to Earth because, as we're closer to the sun, we're bombarded with the sun's rays, with sun flares and all kinds of different interesting things. And the magnetic field makes the sun's energy, power, all this other stuff actually go around us. It protects us. It's like a force field. Okay. And that's created from the Earth's core. And it's fairly large, the magnetic field that we have. Anyway, getting back on topic, scientists still haven't figured out why did the core of Mars, why did it cool down? Because once it started cooling down, what ended up happening is the magnetic field of Mars went away, and when that went away, the sun stripped the atmosphere of Mars. Or at least that's the working theory. You never know. Maybe a large celestial body like the size of a moon actually hit it, and maybe that was the catalyst, that caused that. We don't know. But anyway, I always think it's interesting, by studying Mars, we learn a lot about ourselves, and I wish people would understand that, because you have to keep in mind that what could happen to Mars could happen to us. And by studying Mars, we can maybe, hopefully, potentially prevent that. Yeah. Anyway, if why is our core still active, and why is the core of Mars not active? And my theory is it has to deal with the moon. You see, we're torn between the moon and the sun, and these things circling. As we circle around the sun and the moon circles around us, I think it creates this thing where it helps to heat up the core of the Earth. Also, the spin of the Earth helps keep it warm. And millions and millions of years ago, billions of years ago, the moon actually used to be a lot closer to us, and it affects our affects our oceans and everything. Very important to the development of life on Earth. Also, the good stuff. And the interesting thing is, and a little bit horrifying to me, is that the moon moves away from the Earth about an inch every year. Every year, it gets an inch further away. You won't really notice it, throughout your lifetime that the moon is actually getting further away. But over a couple hundred years, it'll start to become noticeable. And the thing that worries me about that is, what's going to happen? Is there going to reach a point where the moon is actually going to be out of Earth's range, and it's actually going to be in a stable orbit going around the sun as opposed to going around Earth? And how will that affect Earth? How will it affect our oceans and our tides? And how will it affect the core of the Earth? Will that weaken our magnetic field, our magnetosphere, if you will? So I worry about things like these, Is it because Mars had no moon? Or maybe did we steal Mars's moon? We don't know. I feel like I'm boring everybody to tears with this. Yeah. Let's see. Abe writes, like bismuth crystals look artificial. And he's talking about in reference to when I was talking about how nature can actually create things that look artificial, that look like they were man-made, You'd be surprised at the stuff that nature can create, not just on this planet, but on others, Sideburns writes, "Hey man, hope you're doing okay. Your video helped to shed light on your situation." Well, I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, I just, I got bad. I got bad off for like 3 weeks. It was a living hell. It's like I've been sick before, really, really bad sick, where it's miserable, but like it's a different type of misery because you can actually feel your body fighting the sickness and you're burning up and all this other stuff. But this diabetic crap, oh my God! Like I can't speak from experience because as far as I know, this is the only lifetime I've lived. But it feels like you're dying when your sugar gets out of control. Like basically my body was shutting down. My eyesight was going away and all that other crap, blah, 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 blah. So I guess it sort of was, things were just slowly shutting down. And that was bad. It was bad 3 weeks. But anyway, Doing better now. Doing a lot better now. Now, one of the last times I checked, my sugar is about 149, which is pretty good. I think, what was it? 140 is kind of like as high as you want to go with it. I'm not an expert. I'm still learning this stuff. If your sugar's like in the 200 range, you're considered diabetic. And before I ate my food today, before I ate my meal, my my sugar was 179, so that's not good. I'm not like scared or freaked out or anything by that, but it's like something to be mindful of, because I feel like when it gets 200, that's not good. So hopefully tonight, if everybody stays asleep and I don't disturb nobody, I'm going to exercise, burn off some sugars and stuff like that, and try to get that under control, because I don't want to. No, yeah, absolutely not. Let's see. King Crow, cacao, ahoy there, folks. Hey, rats, hey, King Crow, hey, everybody. Man, I really don't like how that face is coming together, but that's okay. I got something to work with, I'll fix it. I'll make it look better. So here's how it's kind of looking right now. Let me tilt it a little bit. See it better now? And for anyone just now tuning in, this is basically what I'm doing. I'm doing this. Looks a lot better, honestly, there. My good buddy Will Avenger, he has a thing he likes to do where, if he sketches something about this size, he'll actually get it blowed up, and then, he'll work with that version. So, if this don't turn out well, I may end up doing that with this, Let's see. Yo, toot. All right, I got a few other thoughts about Mars, and I promise, guys, I'll leave you alone about it. It's just it's more or less just a topic of conversation. I'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Mars is just interesting to me. I really want a colony on Mars. I think it was Richard Nixon who actually got rid of the Apollo program when we used to go to the moon. And that's around the time when we were thinking about, or either did, switch over to doing space shuttle missions, And the disappointing thing about that is, we could have been to Mars probably in the 70s or 80s. We could have already been there and back. But we changed our focus to space shuttles, and it was dumb. I mean, I'm glad we did it in a way, because we made new technologies with it. We tried things, but basically what it ended up being is space shuttle program turned into, I don't know, spacewalks and trips to space station and back. Taxi service. It's like, oh man, what a waste. We could do better. Bum, bum, ba-da-da-da-bum, bum. Hey, Brian, I hate how sketch looks great, but when trying to make a finished pic, it doesn't have the same energy. Yeah, I agree. It's frustrating sometimes, because like sketches have this certain wild, fun, kinetic energy, and then when you go to transfer that idea on some paper and you're trying to do it more professionally or whatever, it loses its luster. You know, Todd McFarlane's of the mindset that he doesn't like to sketch things out. He keeps things very, very, very rough, and he just goes in and does it. He just goes in and, you know, does it, you know, first whack. Because he feels the same way. His opinion is basically it doesn't have the same energy once you do it twice. But for me, you know, when I do this stuff, when I sketch things out beforehand and then I draw it again, what I like about it is it gives me a blueprint, so I'm not going in the dark. I'm not lost because I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes it may look like I know, but I have no clue. I have no clue what the crap I'm doing. You know, I'm just winging it half the time. You know. And so by sketching things out beforehand and then drawing them and stuff really helps me a lot. Make, you know, get things looking good. I think I'll do this, I'll do that. Drop him a shadow here. This will be the worst video quality of all time. I hate this. Man. So where's that? Camera's on the other side. So maybe if I just push it on down. I don't know. Let me hit this. Let me look here. Yeah, it's going to do what it wants. I'm getting some happy accidents with this drawing. I know you can't really tell, but it's some cool stuff's coming out of it. Guy's looking kind of young here, so I need to age him up because the character's a little older than that. Let's see. There we go. Make this go a little out more. Yeah, that's a little better. King Crow writes, I've had the same problem. I just draw it again and focus on looser gestures and flow. See, I think the best way to go about it is just blame other people. See, I'm going to blame all you. You know, when this doesn't turn out good, I'm going to say that it's your all's fault. So that's how you do it. Okay, kind of got that laid out. All right, let me get this thing in the corner here. Get the liquidator, whose name I may have to change. Liquidator is one of these villains that Wildcats had for a long time. Now, Cronus is new, or whatever his name, Kronos. Liquidator, he's been around for a long time. Liquidator always has these two big goons that's with him, you know. I'll probably have to change their names as well, you know, Steroid Al and Cactus Jack, and Liquidator's just like this Thermalhide, whatever that liquid is that preserves stuff, head. It's floating in a vat of liquid in this super powered armored suit, you know. Been trying to figure out how to draw him. I'm torn, between doing very, very light details, trying to make it seem like the liquid is actually obscuring a lot of his features, and actually doing something that's far more detailed. I think what I may end up doing here is I may actually look at some reference and draw a real skull. Yeah. Then again, I don't know. It depends. Hey, that's kind of cool. I think that's looking good. Kind of getting the gist of it, the idea of it. His head's a little off center there, so that's not good. So to fix that, I'm going to have to bring this over more like this. Okay. Now that's a little lopsided, so fix that. His helmet's got really tight all of a sudden. That's a little better. There we go. Want it about like that. Okay. I just have to smooth it out and make it look whatever. Alright, so let me tell you guys this stuff. Let's see. So I went to Walmart not too long ago. Don't like to go to Walmart all that much anymore because it's just it's a hassle. You have to stand in line and wear a mask, suffocate, and I like to wear gloves sometimes because I don't want to touch the keypad. I think that's one of the dirtiest things. Grabbing the door to get in. Well, you don't have to do that for Walmart, obviously, but other stores you do. And touching the keypad. It's two of the dirtiest things that you can touch, in my opinion. And it's just a hassle to get in and out. But that's not really the point of what I'm getting ready to say. Went in the toy section. I like to check out the toys because that's just how I roll. And you know what I saw? I saw Generation 1 Transformer toys. Just the exact same packaging that they had in the 80s. Same toys and everything. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. And you know what else I freaking saw at Walmart in the toy aisle? Real Ghostbuster toys. Now the cartoon, if you ever watched the cartoon, it was called The Real Ghostbusters because there was a legal trouble between some Ghostbusters that came out in the 60s or 70s, and it involved like two guys and a gorilla or something, some stupid thing like that. I can't remember. But anyway, so they called their cartoon The Real Ghostbusters based off of the Ghostbusters motion picture. They had Bill Murray and all those guys in it. And they had toys. And guess what? Walmart had the freaking toys. They had the Real Ghostbuster toys in the original packaging, everything. I was like, oh man, I really wanted to waste my money and buy a bunch of toys. I really did. And guess what? I know some of you are like, what, CB? So I'm going to answer for you. Here very soon, if not already, He-Man toys are coming out. Freaking He-Man. Oh my God. He-Man. I'm getting ready to cuss. I don't need to do that. But in my opinion, just get rid of all the toys that are out there now. Just put all the 80s stuff in there. Girls and boy toys. Life is going to be so much better for children. Which I'm sure there's going to be some that's going to cry over Fortnite. So let's leave a few Fortnite and Minecraft toys. But other than that, we're giving these kids the 80s. That's what they need. But I guarantee for the most part, it ain't going to be kids buying those toys. I'm probably going to end up buying some He-Man toys, Masters of the Universe. It's in my future. I sense it. King Crow writes, starting to come together, looking good, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like it is. I'm not too. See, right now I'm not sold on it yet. But we'll see. We'll see. But Jeremy Burt's writes, saw Battle Cat at Walmart the other day. Oh yes, Battle Cat. Love it. King Crow writes, I wasted a bunch of money on some amazing books. Well, it might not be a waste though if you think they're amazing. Could be an investment. Not like an investment like comics were in the 90s where they weren't an investment at all. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I'm saying. Don't listen to me. Just don't listen. What kind of books did you get, by the way? If you have time, I'd like to, love to hear it. There's a bunch of Indiegogos and stuff like that I kind of want to throw money at. I just haven't done it yet because I'm a cheapskate. Yeah, a little bit. Oh boy, let's not forget Wildcat's patented ears. Don't want to do that. And give him like that. Okay, cool. I'm getting quiet again. I can't do that. I'm going to bore people to tears. Nobody wants to sit here and watch me draw. Who wants to watch that? I got to entertain the peoples. King Crow writes, a great investment in my library. The books that King Crow has gotten is Hulk Visionaries, Peter David, 1 through 6, early Todd McFarlane and Dale Keown. Oh, yes. Let me tell you something, King Crow. You've got impeccable taste, sir. Love Dale Keown. I really love Todd McFarlane's work on Hulk. It was great. And short-lived. I feel like it was very short-lived. I think they could have milked that for a lot more, but I guess he was a Spider-Man guy. He had to be Spider-Man. But I feel like his work on Hulk was like phenomenal. One of the first comic book stores that I ever went into, I remember seeing Hulk on the cover, and he was like double fisting and smashing these golden robots. And that was my first time in a comic book store. I bought that, and then I never saw that comic book store again. I never went into another comic book store for like many, 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 many years after that. It's strange how that worked out. But anyway, it's just really, really cool. I just wish that Todd spent a little bit more time on Hulk. But things work out the way they do. Just how it is sometimes. And if there was, in a hypothetical universe, if you're all are the editors for Marvel Comics or maybe you own Marvel Comics and you could pick any creative team to work on the Incredible Hulk, who would you pick? Right now, I haven't. I read like the first 6 or 7 issues of the new Immortal Hulk run or whatever it's called. It's really good. Um, but like, I guess what I'm trying to say, the artist that they got on it's really good. I can't remember his name. He's a guy that I had my eye on. Back in the '90s. He drew a few things. Joe Bennett, I think it's Joe Bennett. Yeah, and he's really came into his own as an artist, on this book. But like, if you guys could, pick who you wanted to work on the Incredible Hulk, who would it be? Now, since I'm throwing that question out at you, at all of you, I guess I'll try to attempt to answer it. I have no clue who I'm going to say, who I'm going to mention. So I'm just going to kind of wing it here. So what artist would I like to see draw Incredible Hulk? I guess we'll start with that. All right. I think I got somebody in mind. This is just off the top of my head, just for conversation's sake. I'm going to say Tony Danielle. Tony Danielle used to work for Marvel back in the day and did a lot of, a couple of X-Force, did Gambit in the Externals during the Age of Apocalypse run. I don't know what else he done for Marvel. God, that was loud. What was that? You're dangerously low in space. This may slow down some apps and functions. Delete or back up your... What? I don't see how. How am I low in space? Well, and there goes my live streams. But anyway, Tony Danielle, and then eventually went to Image, and he did a really great book a lot of people's not familiar with, The 10th, which was sort of like a Pit-like character. I guess maybe that's why I liked it. But, it had its own flavor. It was its own thing at the same time, And after all, characters can only be so original because there's a lot of stuff that's already out there, and so you're bound to create something that looks like something else, You just have to try your best to, make it as original as you can, and just, don't worry about it. Let the cards fall where they may. Okay, so Tony Danielle, works at DC. Did that very acclaimed Batman run, and then he ended up doing Damage, which was like a Hulk-like character. So I think Tony Danielle would knock it out of the park. He would do some really cool stuff with the Hulk. As far as writing wise, who I would want to write the Hulk. Ooh. Okay, I got somebody in mind. I think he would do some really good stories with it. I'm going to say Rick Remender. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. But basically, he did the Frankencastle Punisher thing. He did... what the crap else did he write? He wrote Uncanny Avengers. I think that's what it was called. He did the Uncanny Avengers. A whole bunch of other stuff. He did a short run on Captain America, I think, where Steve Rogers, Captain America, was in this this another reality where I can't remember if it's Baron Zemo. What was that guy that's got the TV for the head? He's in this other dimension. It is really great. It's good stuff. But Rick Remender, or this one guy that used to write Hulk back in the day. His name's Paul something or other. He almost left comics altogether. He works for Boom Studios. Last I checked. He did. He wrote the Inhumans for Marvel Knights. I can't remember his name. It's Paul something. Either him or Rick Remender with Tony Danielle drawing. I think that would be a good creative team. I think that would be pretty cool. Okay. Let's see. King Crow writes, I'll be getting his work on Spider-Man next year. I have cooling on books for the rest of the year. Yeah, I agree. It's money's tight. Which I like to get his collective works on Spider-Man as well. That'd be a lot of great reference material, you know. King Crow writes, Zub and Mad on Hulk. It sounds like cool. They were great on Savage Wolverine. I think that would be a good team too. I think they would do good on Hulk. Yeah, yeah. So if I couldn't, I'd be happy with either my pick or your pick. Yeah, with that one. The 10th was pretty cool indeed. King Crow also writes Jason Aaron and Stephen Platt on Hulk, which I'd be kind of curious how Stephen Platt would render Hulk, but I'd buy that. I'd buy that. Jason Aaron's a great writer. That would be epic. Okay, shade that. Shade this for whatever reason. I don't know what the deal is with that, but that's how I kind of did it. I think I have like a hump here for whatever reason, so maybe let's do a little bit of that. Okay, so we got that going on. And whoa. I heard something fall. Uh-oh. Gotta go. Okay, I'm back. Probably won't be able to broadcast much longer, but we'll see. My son was sleeping on the couch. I heard a big thump. He basically rolled over in his sleep and fell on the floor. He's like 3. He's like, I don't know, about 3 or 4 foot tall. So he's a pretty sturdy feller. He woke up crying, and so I got him situated for now. He'll probably come in here. So, but anyway, let's see. John Romita Jr. in his prime and maybe Claremont for Hulk. I really liked John Romita Jr.'s run that he did on Hulk when that writer I was talking about earlier, whose name I couldn't remember, Paul something another, Paul. He may have had one of those double first name, last name things. I'll think of it eventually. Paul something, Paul. Hey, Bratz, I remember those days, CB. He's talking about Dini. Paul Dini. No, it ain't Paul Dini. It's I don't remember it when I hear it. He used to, he did Inhumans for Marvel Knights. He worked on Incredible Hulk with Ron Garney, which Ron Garney did an awesome job, and also John Romita Jr. did a great job. And so he worked with them doing that stuff, and he actually got a little disenfranchised. He almost quit working in the comic book industry altogether because of just the way it was run during that time. I don't know if it was editors, I don't know what it was, but and last I heard, he was working for Boom Studios, doing something for them. Paul Jenkins, thank you very much. Paul Jenkins. I really like Paul Jenkins. I felt like he wrote like how Peter David did. Big fan of Peter David's run on Incredible Hulk. But the difference is Paul Jenkins is the Dean Koontz to Stephen King. Like Stephen King had humor, horror, and all these different things, where Dean Koontz is more serious. Well, that's how Paul Jenkins kind of writes. He's more cut and dry, more serious, but still entertaining. It's not something that's going to be like, boring me half to death. It's nothing like that. Yeah. See, maybe you draw her hand here, that sort of thing going on. I think I'll erase this. Okay. Zoomed out. It's already zoomed out. Okay, so I think I had this indicated where it's shaded. King Carl writes, yep, pulling out the sketchbook. Oh, I think I know what I kind of did here. There's like a leg thing. Yeah, all right. I don't even know what I drawed. I don't even know what I'm doing now. I'm just kind of trying to fill in the blacks a lot, That way it gives it, it helps me to kind of see what the crap it is that I'm drawing here. I hate this guy's face. I'll work on that. All right, Abe writes, looks very cool. CB, I'm going to go because my internet is saying I'm maxing out. All right. I'm glad you was here, man. I'll catch you later. See you. King Crow writes, brewing some coffee. Have to work on this page after I warm up. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to broadcast much longer. I'm getting ready to end this, and I'll probably draw a little bit longer, watch some YouTube, listen to some internet drama. I love that internet drama. Well, I shouldn't say I love it, but I guess I enjoy it. Otherwise, I wouldn't listen to it. Yeah. And get caught up on my news. I like to watch my news on my phone. Well, anyway, guys, I guess it's that time again. Let's take a glance here. It's all coming together. I guess it is. I don't know if it is or not. I feel like it is, but we'll see. You know, right here I'm drawing the Gogi, these forest demons that live in the forest where Wildcat lives. You know. But anyway, I guess it's time to end the show. Even my phone's trying to end it because it's telling me, my memory's maxed out or some stupid stuff like that. I don't even know how. Really appreciate everybody watching this. I read each and every single one of your comments. Shout out to my loyal, faithful, and true crew for sticking with me from beginning to end, and all the other people that's hopped on the train since then. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. I hope you're having great luck and success with all the projects that you're working on. And for anyone that just watches this just to watch it, thank you for doing that. And I hope you're having great prosperity in your life, whatever it may be. And, as always, this is CB Smallwood, the greatest of all time, somewhat disputed. And I will catch you all later. You all be good, have fun, and, hopefully in a couple of days or maybe tomorrow night, we'll see. I'll stream again.